First, you will notice that I wear a sweater. Not only me, but many, also including the spokesperson of the Secretary General, started to wear scarf, vest to keep warm. Why? Because now the United Nations is facing a serious cash flow issue. The Secretary General promised UN staff not to cut their salary, so you have to save money from some other places, including air conditioning. 2 weeks ago, you said that the financial status of the UN is not that good. How would the financial status affect UN's ability of dealing with all those things?
The Secretary General has done his utmost to ensure that despite the financial challenges that we face, that our basic work remains, right? And so the fact that we have lowered the temperature in this building in the winter is a way to save money without impacting our work.
Now the situation in Gaza still dominates this week's press agenda here in the UN. Again, when answering reporter questions, permanent observer Mansour of Palestine State told us the Arab countries will submit a draft resolution concerning the admission of the state of Palestine to the United Nations.
We will be, refining that strategy for moving into the Security Council with a draft resolution calling for the admission of the State of Palestine to membership. Before we go to the Security Council with a draft resolution for admission, we will announce the number of countries that are endorsing and supporting this effort.
As the death toll in Gaza reaches 30,000, the Security Council had a meeting on the humanitarian situation in Gaza. UN briefers from WFP, FAO, and OCHA obviously pointed out the dire reality in Gaza Strip, especially in northern Gaza. According to WFP Deputy Executive Director Carl Scow, Gaza is seeing the worst level of child malnutrition anywhere in the world. If nothing changes, a famine is imminent in northern Gaza, and that is why the UN is still calling for an immediate ceasefire. But the most dramatic moment happened when the U.S. Deputy Representative Robert Wood and Russian Representative Vasily Nebenzia clashed over Gaza and Ukraine. Nebenzia pointed out that the U.S. had blocked numerous UN efforts to establish a ceasefire that could have averted widespread starvation in Gaza.
By blocking international efforts to stop violence in Gaza, Washington bears full responsibility for the unprecedented number of civilian victims of this escalation. Their number is now near 30,000, and that is the cost of the American veto in the Security Council on Gaza.
And this comment started the clash. Two ambassadors went on back and forth for several rounds.
The Russian Federation is a country that doesn't contribute to resolving humanitarian crises. It creates them. Just look at Ukraine.
Comparing the scale of it is impossible. And second of all, who should be lecturing us about that? The country who destroyed Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, and carpet-bombed in barbaric way those countries. Yugoslavia also is on the list.
Are you saying that Russia is not conducting any bombings of Ukraine?
Until this moment.
I propose that we stop here and we continue our sparring during the meeting on Ukraine.
With this kind of conversation in Security Council open meeting, how much unity do you expect in the Council? Well, next month, Japan will become the president of Security Council, and let's see what difference the new president can make. And that's all from me.